Right, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe it's time for another one of these videos. We're going to do the podcast format, go back to, the roots. The new community stream has been and gone. I was in work while this was happening, so obviously I wasn't present. But there's quite a few things that have come out of this stream that I want to do a video on and just generally provide my opinions on, because based on the past, there's a lot of people who don't speak their minds in this community, and a lot of people seem to find this refreshing. So if you don't know who I am a killer player majority of the time. I do play some Survivor, but I am a former Evolve player from ASYM's previous to Dead by Daylight, a year prior to DBD, back in 2015. And back in my day, ladies and gentlemen, in ASYM's, generally if you were shit at the game, you lost. You weren't rewarded like is becoming a trend with this game. So we're going to see what's been changed. I only actually even knew that this was even a thing because somebody in my comment section said that they're returning Auto Haven Brighter, for fuck's sake. So, there's probably going to be quite a few things we can sink our fucking teeth into here, and have a bit of a discussion about, So what I'll do is, obviously, as you're seeing on screen right now, I'll show you the slide that I'm going to be talking about, and then I'll put some gameplay on it for you, and we'll just do the same things we've always done. All right. So slide one, and again, I haven't seen these either. This is going to be the first reactions to it as well, so you're probably going to get the passion from it. So yeah, we're just going to go for it. So why are we looking at this? So this is in return. I do know that this is in respects to tunneling, slugging, and camping, and all this kind of stuff. They say facecamping, slugging, and tunneling have been a major factor in players uninstalling the game. Already in the first sentence I'm reading this is hearsay, because we don't actually have numbers on this. This is literally just hearsay. They could be saying this to just agree with the majority. We don't know this. And the second half that I do want to add to this, ladies and gentlemen, again, somebody who has spent a long time during his life in ASYMs and the general genre as a whole, maybe the genre just isn't for them. I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. Like, I'm being dead fucking serious now, because we're getting to a point where the survivors are being rewarded for doing just literally the stupidest fucking shit in a trial imaginable, dude. And it's getting to the point where killer is becoming a fucking nuisance to play, literally. Like, it's just take from the killer. No matter what the killer does, it gets punished in some way that rewards the survivors, which is what they're going to be fucking doing with this. I can only imagine anyway, if they're adding this shit back into the game. When we very closely turned it into Nurse by Daylight, and we're probably still going to, but it's a dead horse, and it's just a track we're on, and we just refuse to fucking understand what's going on. So to ensure the longevity of Dead by Daylight, we must address these problems and teach players how to counter them effectively. That's another interesting sentence, because they're saying teach them how to counter them effectively, but what they're actually doing, and what I imagine they're going to be doing, is obviously I will show the slides as we go through them, is basically just giving them fucking iframes for everything, or some kind of like haste effect or scratch mark removal, all this kind of shit. Rather than teaching them that when a killer is actually camping, or even proxy camping a hook, that's actually your key to fucking winning as Survivor, because it's literally hard throwing the game. The only time camping actually comes into play is towards the late game, or should come into play, I should say, when you actually do camp somebody to get somebody out when you're about 3 or 2 gens. If there's a killer camping at 5 gens, mate, you're fucking winning it. You'd win it as Survivor. You just do your generators. This sounds, again, like the fucking solo team whenever you run Kindred and you just fucking see them all stood staring at the hook, expecting the killer to leave. And then that person dies on the hook, and then the game's over, because he's got one out then, and you've done none of the gens, when you could have realistically done about 2 or 3. And that's especially relevant now with how fucking fast the gen speeds are. 30-second generators are now in this game, by virtue of certain builds. But because we're standing there and staring at the hook, instead of, actually just doing the fucking generators when they're camping, all this shit's going to come into the game now and fucking ruin it for everybody. So, again, very stupid players are being catered to here. But yeah, that's going to be the first slide. So that was why are we looking at this. We'll move on to the next one. So here's the next one. What is face camping? Usually described as the killer staying in very close proximity to a hooked survivor. Face camping, ladies and gentlemen, as I've literally just said it anyway, is literally just throwing the game as killer. This literally does nothing anymore anyway with what actually exists in the game, because even if you camp them, they already have the unhook mechanic, so you can't actually fully face camp anyway at this point in time. I've played quite a decent amount of survivor games, and I've never come across a killer that is of this 2 meter example that literally just stands in front of you like that. I've never come across that ever, to be honest. But if they are doing that, and that's at 5 gens, they're throwing the game. They're literally throwing the game. But again, it pivots back to the survivors in that instance, because if the survivors are just literally stood there watching this happen and not actually doing gens, then you're throwing the game, you know? There is literally, in the current game state, with the way gen speeds are and the way, like, how many perks there are that assist gen speeds now, there is no excuse why that wouldn't be a 3E situation. There genuinely isn't why that would not be a 3-man escape if they're doing this 2 meter one. And obviously if it's at 5 gens. If it's at 2 or 1 gen or anything like that, nah, it's fucking valid, you know? You still get out of this anyway. 2 of you run in, one of them takes the hit when they go for the unhook, and then the other one goes for the unhook while they're wiping the weapon, and then they're away. You know? And then you've got all your chase shit to do as well. You've got your pallets everywhere that have been increased across the map, you know? You've got your second chance iframes and all that kind of shit. There's nothing fucking wrong with this. There really isn't, boys. It's fucking embarrassing, this, dude. Spinning it into a fucking story that, oh, our players are uninstalling. Fucking bollocks, mate. It's absolute bullshit. You're catering to the fucking TTVs who want to make content. That's all this is. But yeah, anyway, it's just... face camping, I have never seen whenever I've played Survivor, dude. I've seen it pop up on Reddit when people post clips of it. But then, every one of these clips that I've seen, the killer's at like 2 gens. So... you know, what's the problem with it? If there's 4 of you still alive and there's 2 gens or even 1 gen left, right? You're already winning. So what the fuck are you complaining about? You know? Like, it's not a fucking issue. It really is not a fucking issue. Key data points is the next one. We're going to pretend that we play the game now and that we're actually, you know, we're going to cling to the data sheet design philosophy that's just fundamentally fucking flawed. Because you can literally have survivors just literally throw the game and it gets a 4K on fucking hag, you know, in the current genre, and then we nerf hag. Overall, face camping has seen no major shift. Probably need stream context for that because I don't actually know what that's in relevance to. Patrolling has slightly increased. Again, there's nothing wrong with patrolling, that's just staying near the hook. The killer puts a survivor on the hook and then creates a secondary objective for the killer itself to patrol, because obviously you've got a survivor on the hook. That's where the pressure comes from. That's where you're going to patrol that hook. You're going to stay near that hook because somebody has to come and get that rescue. Yeah? Nothing wrong with it. Survivors take more time to rescue, 28 seconds, 35 seconds. Right? So, again, the survivors are taking longer to rescue. So this facilitates adding more arbitrary shite to the game because they're taking fucking longer. I probably need context behind this, but yeah. When the resolve bar fills, what the fuck's the resolve bar? There's a 10% increase in escape rates. I can't really comment on this because I don't know what any of this is. It's literally just a slide that somebody's put that says it's documenting all the, you know, the stream community screenshots. But this doesn't make any sense again, though. If this is in relevance to, because it's got low MMR 3.1%, mid MMR 1.3%, and high MMR 0.9%. I don't know, skip that one. I don't know what it's on about, to be fair. Here we go. What's next? The resolve bar. Alright, here we go. Right. The resolve bar when being camped is visible to all survivors. I don't know how that's going to look. That's fucking visual clutter. Is it above the survivor? How the fuck would you... Or it just comes on your screen within a certain radius. The meter fills faster based on how long the killer remains in proximity. 1, twice, or 4 times 50% of the live value. 2.5 to 200% of the live value. Right. 200% of the live values quite fast. I'm assuming the resolve bar is literally the bar where they unhook themselves if you've been stood in front of them so long. I think that's what this is. So now they've changed it to the meter fills faster based on how long the killer remains in proximity. So basically it's an extension. It's not just face camping now, it's proximity camping as well. So if you go anywhere fucking near that hook for a set amount of time, it speeds up even fucking faster so that they can unhook themselves again. Is that what that is? If I'm reading that right. So you can't even proxy camp the hook now. You have to literally hook them, go straight to the other corner of the map because you have to be polite in the PvP game, and we can't fucking help ourselves if we get hooked. Is that what this is? Decrease the fill rate of the anti-face camp meter by 50%. I don't know what the resolve bar is then. The anti-face camp meter. I don't know what any of this is. There's so much fucking shite in this game now, dude. It's so fucking shit. We've got a resolve bar and we've got an anti-face camp meter. Increase the range of the anti-face camp radius to 20 meters. So I'm assuming the anti-face camp is the bar that's in the game now, the yellow bar. They've increased the range to 20 meters in front of the hook, right? So you come within 20 meters, you're basically face camping, as they're going to fucking label it now. Is that what it is? 20 meters, right? So hooking a survivor applies a 7-second grace period to all hooked survivors. Are we going to explain what any of this is, or is this just cut and dry shit? What is tunneling? This will be interesting. Usually described as going for the same survivor to get them out of the match as soon as possible. The way you play a time-based ASYM, yeah. So tunneling is literally how you play the game as killer, basically. That's literally what it is. I don't give a shit what people think. This is how you play the time-based ASYM, and we're literally trying to bastardize the game's identity for the sake of Twitter-fueled survivors that want to make content on Twitch. That's what it is. Literally. Yeah. I've been in my fair share of survivor games, right? And I've been tunneled out. I don't give a shit. I go next. Literally. It's not us versus them. It's not the fact that I play more killer. It really isn't. I'm just not fucking sensitive. You know? I'll just go on to the next one. Queue into the next one. About a minute in queue. Get into the next one. Boom. We're in a new game. It is really not a fucking issue. It really is not an issue. There's a lot of people who play this game, dude, who need to be reminded in the asymmetrical horror game that you will fucking die at certain points, dude. It's fucking insane the state this game's got into. It is really insane to me. This is literally because I've been here since 2015, fellas, in the ASYM genre, right? I know how these games work. Yeah, I was basically a semi-professional Evolve player back in the day. I was competitive in Evolve, you know, and back in the days of Evolve, and Evolve was a combat-based ASYM. It wasn't time-based. You know, it was still the way you played the game by targeting the team's medic to starve the team of sustain, and then you could go for everybody else. So you would basically tunnel the medic out. You know, that was accepted back then, you know, and that was the way you played the game as well. The monster was incentivized to either go for the medic or the trapper. Those were the two most tunneled targets in that game. Tunneled, you know, we're using as a term just to put lights on it, right? It's always been a thing in ASYMs. That's why it's an ASYM. There are more players on one side, so the one with the power gets one of the others out so that it exaggerates the advantage even more, you know? And this is especially more relevant in time-based ASYMs, you know? When you've got literally gens fucking going every fucking 30 seconds now, so you need to get somebody out quickly. But now we're going to stop this as a playstyle because it's mean and it's evil to the washed up fucking Twitch content creators that need to loop killers for 5 gens. Yeah? Fucking embarrassing, dude. It's so fucking insane. What are the goals? Stop killers playing the game, basically. Adhere to the Twitch content farm. We want to ensure that every player's time is respected except the killers. We want to ensure that queuing up means you get to play. Yeah, but again, as I've just said, you can go next. We want to ensure that player agency is retained except on the killer side. We want to put the onus, I don't know what onus means, on the survivor. I literally don't know what onus means. Onus? The fuck is that? I don't know. We're just giving them all loads of fucking advantages for no reason, basically. because that's literally what they're doing. This is just going to be arbitrary iframes and shit slapped all over it. At this point, you might as well make DS dead addon fucking off the record base kit and just fucking let it lie, to be honest. Because it's getting genuinely fucking embarrassing, this. Unhook protections, 10% haste, endurance, iframes, elusive. So, yep, we've got almost base kit lucky break then as well. No aura, no pools of blood, no scratch marks, no grunts of pain, just completely silent. Off the hook, make no sound, coughing, puking, that's the same thing. No AFK points. That probably did need changing. If you're getting AFK points for being on the hook, that's just ridiculous. See the killer's aura within 32 meters. Fucking hell, dude. Fucking wall axe as well. Lost when performing a conspicuous action or being healed, a full health state. Right, okay, the latter half of that's not too bad. But the conspicuous action shit's just really bad, because it's just... They still don't do this when they're running off the record and just insert themselves in chases for free iframes off the hook. Because this is touching generators, basically. Touching generators or healing is conspicuous. Killer bonuses. Fucking hell, careful now. Upon a unique hook, hooking a different survivor, just in case you didn't know. Gain Bloodlust for 15 seconds. Okay. Gain a stackable blood point multiplier on your match score. Right, okay, so they give you more BP then. Buff score events relating to hooks. First hooks are now 750 BP. Woo! Right. Is it the same as regular Bloodlust though? Because if it is, that's shit. That's literally shit. They just jump up, they literally get off the hook and just run you to a pallet. And then you don't get the 15-second Bloodlust. That doesn't help. It literally doesn't help at all. That's not a bonus. It's just get off the hook and fucking, well, any sort of the next pallet. Literally, it's just catching somebody off guard. Actually, so it's not when they unhook survivors. It's when you hook somebody. But yeah, you'd basically, the only time you're ever going to get that off is if, you know, it's going to give you an it if somebody's out positioned. If they're not, then it's pointless because you break the pallet, it gets rid of your Bloodlust. If it works the same, or if it's just permanent 15 seconds Bloodlust. I've sort of been thinking that Bloodlust anyway, if they were to rework it, and obviously this is in a timeline where they actually gave a shit about the killer side of the gameplay, Bloodlust shouldn't cancel on pallets. I genuinely don't think it should cancel on pallets, because it would literally help M1 killers get the down. It should cancel on hits. So you'd just speed up and you'd retain that fast speed until you get your next hit. And then it resets. That's how I do Bloodlust. Because it'd help M1 killers massively. But Bloodlust at the moment, it literally only kicks in when you get to pallets, and then you just kick it and it just goes away again. Key differences, we've swapped the haste bonus for Bloodlust. We've removed the bonus generator damage on the next kick. Oh, okay. So we've removed the part that was actually important. We've removed the aura reveal, base kit barbecue. Was it base kit barbecue? They removed the best part though, that's fucking hilarious. Bonus generator damage on the next kick. Something that's actually probably would have been needed, actually, in the current game state, again, because 30-second generators. Yeah, so the bonuses killer have got, ladies and gentlemen, is it's been changed from haste, which is something that permanently lasts for the duration, to Bloodlust, where they just run you to a pallet and then you just fucking lose it, and you don't get the 15 seconds. If that's how it works. Fucking hell, dude. Fucking just... They don't understand their own status effects either. Perk add-on updates. Here we go. So we've got a furtive chase update. We've got a babysitter update. We've got a borrowed time update. I don't know why that's been changed. Breakdown off the record's been changed again. Let's see what that is. Wicked. That's the... It's not the basement healing one, is it? Which one? It's the other one. The other basement one. The basement hook. Where you can unhook yourself for free in the basement, I think. Iframes for the rest of the game. Original Pain, that's a pin add-on. Soma Family Photo, that's a Larry add-on, my main. So I don't know what the fucking hell they're doing to that. Syringes, hopefully nerfed, but probably buffed. Styptic Agent, again, it's probably been an increase to the duration of it. Because we're all about iframes. They can only nerf Syringe, though. I think they can only nerf Syringe. This thing's fucking busted. If they find a way to buff this shit, dude, I fucking swear I'm gonna flip, literally. What is slugging? Slugging is the art of knocking down survivors for time pressure. Usually described as putting a survivor in the dying state and leaving them there, yeah, for time pressure in the time-based ASYM. So usually, a lot of the times these days, you'll lose 2 gens in your first chase as killer. This is nearly unavoidable as if you don't run corrupt, or you're not playing blight, something like that. Somebody you can down really quickly. If you take any kind of chase at the beginning of the game, you will lose 2 gens, and there's nothing you can do about it. They did nerf deadlock as well down to 25 seconds, so that's now fucking useless. Corrupt also deactivates whenever you down your first survivor, so you do get more. I tend to find more use out of Corrupt in terms of stopping the first 2 generators going than deadlock. But as I say, we're not straying into the perks itself, but slugging is where you are basically down to 2, 1, 2.5, 2 gens, that sort of ballpark. And you want to stop all 4 of these survivors that are still alive. Maybe you've only got 1 or 2 hooks, because they've actually been looping well and you've been struggling as an M1 killer, perhaps, because not everybody in this player base plays Blight, Nurse and Ghoul, something that Behaviour can't seem to understand. You need to then slug some survivors. You need to put them on the ground to have somebody get pulled off another generator to come and revive that survivor while you go and look for another survivor and potentially get that survivor off a gen and give yourself a bit of a comeback, with time pressure, because then that's 3 preoccupied survivors. You've got the one that you're then chasing after you've slugged, you've got the one that's on the ground not doing anything, and then you've got the other survivor who's running over to get the res on the person that's on the ground not doing anything as well. It stalls for time. Yeah, this isn't criminal. This isn't a bad thing. It is literally how you play a time-based fucking ASYM. But here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting rid of this as well because they can't fucking handle it because they need to make the content. And regardless of what anyone likes to say whenever you bring this up, that, they always say like, what is it they always say? Oh, killers shouldn't go into a match and feel entitled to the 4K. Well, you shouldn't go into your matches entitled with the escape. But here we are. Look where the developer leans, ladies and gentlemen. Because now the game is being fucking bastardized for all these shit players that can't understand what a time-based ASYM is. I've said it for fucking years, boys. This is exactly the sort of game state we were going to be in. Nobody listened. Key data points overall, killers across all MMR tend to slug for about 30 seconds. Yep, because that is a gen speed issue. If you were an intelligent and competent developer, you would understand why they're doing this. This is a time-based ASYM you are creating where 4 people have to do 5 generators within a match. So the killer-to-killer team has to hook 12 survivors, basically. Each person 3 times, technically, if you don't run a Mora. Right? So one side of this time-based ASYM's objective is far larger than the other, and the smaller objective also has more people working on it. So when killers are slugging, that is because they are trying to buy themselves time. It doesn't mean they hate the fucking survivor's guts. It doesn't mean they're out to get them as a bad person, all this kind of fucking narrative-pilled bollocks that has plagued this game now for months, years at this point, parroted by all these fake fucking survivor streamers that lower their MMR anyway to go against fresh installs. It's a case of buying themselves time in the time-based ASYM. Oh, fucking primates. Actual fucking primates. Overall, high MMR survivors spend less time in the dying state at 26 seconds. Yeah, because most of the time at high MMR, the game's over before the fucking killer can do anything, or they have all these second chance unbreakable mechanics that are now in the game, and the team is more aware of people going down, so as soon as somebody gets slugged, you've usually got somebody going in for a flashlight save, or lingering for the revive off the ground. Because in the state of the latter, where they go in for the revive off the ground and the killer goes looking for somebody else, it's usually a fucking negative for the killer, because then the revive speed off the ground is too fucking quick for the survivor to buy themselves any time anyway. Because it's actually not a fucking negative to have slugging in the game. Dude, nobody fucking plays this game at IMMR. It's fucking insane. And I've got people coming to my comments whenever I do rage videos about this game, and they have the fucking nerve to try and say that I'm not at IMMR. It's fucking insane, dude. a fucking community of people, like literal survivor mains, that come to your fucking comment section and try to tell you they play Killer Dude when they've not got a fucking clue what they're on about. It's insane. I've been here since 2016, fellas. I know fucking far more than what people think I do about this game, and just the ASYM genre as a whole. What's next? The resolve bar takes 120 seconds to fill. I still don't know what the resolve bar is. I know what the anti-camp one is, but I don't know what this is. It fills 33% faster for each additional survivor in the dying state. So is that the slug bar then? Or is that just buffs for when you're trying to pressure in the end game, maybe? Once full, the survivor can recover on their own for the rest of the trial. They must fully recover each time. Wow, okay, so we've got base kit, infinite, unbreakable. Fucking hell. Welcome to 2025. Oh, PvP gaming's dead, fellas. Fucking hell, that's fucking insane. Crawling speed increases over time while in the dying state, so yeah, you just fucking run. Yeah, just run on the ground. Now, 1 meter a second. I don't know what it was before that. That's probably tenacity speed, if I had to guess. It's probably tenacity, because he said they were going to make base kit tenacity base kit as well. Base kit infinite unbreakable. Fucking hell, man. Fucking fell off this genre. Is this the auto even change that the viewer informed me of? Doesn't look too much brighter. Could be worse. Is there another picture of it? No. That's the blurriest fucking picture I've ever seen, dude. It looks foggier, to be honest. Actually looks a bit better. When they said they were brightening it up, I thought they were going to do fucking Coldwind Farm and just completely destroy the map. That doesn't look too bad, that. Compared to... It's in 9.4. What are we in now? 9.2. 9.22, I think we're in. Kind of looks better to me, that. Actually kind of looks better. The murkiness is nice. Because I'm literally a Fallen Refuge enjoyer, because I think it's one of the only horror-based maps in the game, to be honest. With the murkiness of it. Same with Grenville. Grenville Theatre. The Unknown map. Two of my favourite maps, because they actually look like a horror game. Rather than just being either fucking daytime or just really bright. I don't look too bad, that, to be fair. Map survey, top 5 most enjoyed maps. Oh, we know who's voted on this, don't we? Fucking hell. Dead Dog Saloon, that's Survivors. Number 2, Mount Ormond, that's Survivors. Number 3, I don't know why anybody's voted for this fucking shit, but okay. Number 4, that's also Survivors, because that's a very Survivor-sided map. Freszy Fazbears. Very safe, and Genzo is fly on that map. And fucking RPD West Wing as well. Right, okay. I don't know why anybody on both sides of the fucking player base are enjoying RPD, mate. It's just bad overall. Like, fucking terrible. Yeah, that's all Survivors, though. That's literally all Survivors. If you're saying, I mean, I can't speak for me other fucking killer players, but fucking hell, fellas, why are you voting for Deadlock? There's literally an infinite you have to deconstruct at the beginning of it, in every game. Ormond's dog shit, because they can just see you at every pallet. There's no mind games around the actual main building. Map survey, what's next? Weight rebalancing, right, I know what weight rebalancing is. If you don't know what weight rebalancing is, it's basically how frequently you get certain maps. I, for one, on this particular instance, ladies and gentlemen, would just like them to just fucking go back to random maps. I really would. I don't want to keep facing the same fucking map over and over, dude, just because it's in a weight or a bucket kind of thing. I'm up to me fucking tits in Nostromo and fucking Hawkins, mate. Now, like, it's literally every other game. I don't give a shit. Give me Macmillan's, give me Autohaven, give me Colwyn Farm, give me Grenville, give me Fallen Refuge, give me fucking anything. Give me fucking Garden of Joy, you know, give me fucking anything that isn't Nostromo and Hawkins, please. Fucking hell, it's literally the only 2 maps I've been playing on, dude. They just need to do it so it's randomised. I don't give a shit if I play on the same map twice in once every fucking 20 games, you know? Like, it's just something that doesn't need to exist. Realm repeat prevention tweaks, yeah, that's part of this. Where they just make it so that it's like you can't witness the same map twice in a row. So everybody you queue into a lobby with probably played on the same map you did previously. So then you're all going into a new map, that kind of thing. I just wouldn't. I'd fucking prefer it to be fully randomised, man. I really don't care. Did someone say buffs? This is buffs. Drone rotation. Oh, it's Skull Merchant. Increase the drone rotation speed to 105 degrees a second. It was 95 degrees a second. Oh yeah, I'm thinking it was one fucking thing, right? Okay. Okay, so that's basically base kit rotor, I think. More or less that. Because rotor used to increase the rotation speed. Increase the hindered status effect from getting scanned to 10% was 8. Careful now, they won't like that. They won't be able to reach the next god palette within that time range. Think of the Twitch content. 10% is... it's 2% shy of Freddy's snare. Freddy's snare is probably one of the best in the game, I think, in terms of hindered. Decrease the deploy drone cooldown to 7 seconds was 10. Decrease... So this isn't the rework, is it? This is making her playable, basically. Unless they just do this and they've just U-turned the entire rework anyway. Because she was going to get skill shot drones. Decrease the undetectable duration to 6 seconds was 8 seconds, so they got in a stealth. It's only 2 seconds off it though. You can probably still run the speakers, I think they're called, to increase the undetectable. Remove the fast fault immunity to scan lines, good. Every 2.5 seconds, standing underneath a drone, the survivor gains 1 lock on. Was instant. Does that not just kill her? Does that literally not just kill her? 2.5 seconds is a fucking long time, mate. You're never going to get that off now. Never. Especially if you're in a chase, mate. So, 2.5 seconds standing underneath a drone. The survivor gains 1 lock on. So that's I believe the lock on is when they've got the claw trap on, but they get the three scans that they need before they get injured. And the claw trap injures them. Yeah, they get scanned, they get locked on. And then the third one is the one that puts the claw trap on it and it injures them, I think. And that was instant, so now it's 2.5 seconds. So she's never going to injure anybody with the drones again. Basically. That's apparently the last one. Let me just see if there's any more. No, that's actually the lot, ladies and gentlemen. So that'll be the end of the review there. But yeah, it's just more of the same again. As I say, we kind of knew that tunneling, slugging, camping, all that shit was going to get implemented at some point, and obviously this is what they're doing going towards it. It's just more needless bullshit added to the game, as always. It's not a case... when I go on these rants, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of people who come to the comments and they just parrot this brainless fucking response all the time whenever I do these videos that I am literally the stereotypical killer main and all this kind of shit. But I actually want what's best for the game. And if you actually listened for a second to these people who are saying this, and you actually saw the perspective of a game state where it was built around stealthing and actually being skilled in chase, so you're not being carried by iframes and all that kind of stuff, from a content creation standpoint and also from just a basic player standpoint, you would probably enjoy the game more as Survivor yourself as well, because the current game state is a case of you get hooked, you get iframes, and then once those iframes are gone, you find out you're still shit at the game because you're relying on these iframes and these second chances, and then you get even more frustrated at yourself, more frustrated at the game, more frustrated at the killer player when it has never been an issue to get tunneled out in ASYMs or anything like that. That is literally the way time-based ASYMs work, ladies and gentlemen. But we're on a fucking warpath to get rid of it in this game, right? There is nothing wrong as a Survivor player, right, with dying in the ASYM, right? And I'm speaking as somebody who is a killer player in this part. I am a killer main, but what I'm saying is I'm not... Whenever I kill you in a match, I'm putting this in very fucking, like, literal babyish terms here as well, because I have to go this fucking low. I feel like I have to anyway, right? So when I'm playing killer and I tunnel a survivor out, you're the first to die in a match, I'm not sat here in this fucking chair going, oh, you're shit, ha ha ha, look at how fucking early you died, all this kind of wank, yeah? There are obviously some streamers that have done that, and them sorts of streamers have obviously tainted the community and it's spread like fucking wildfire. I don't give a shit, right? I'm here to play the game and win it on my terms, right? But what's currently happening in the game, ladies and gentlemen, is we've got this game state where anything I do as the killer is deemed evil and just incomprehensible. So we patch it out with second chance mechanics, perks or base kit, right? That's literally what is happening. And as this gets more and more egregious with how it's being implemented, the game's getting watered down to the state of just literally being a complete fucking negative experience to play as killer. You're only facing blight, nurses and ghouls because they're the only 3 killers that can feasibly and reliably keep up with all this monotonous bollocks that is now being added to the game because all the fucking actually bad survivors are just constantly crying every time they die and then pinning it as a fucking killer player issue. They're all toxic, all this kind of shit, and actually pushing the us versus them narrative, rather than it being a case of making content on the game and also playing Survivor in a skilled fashion, building content, Survivor content around being skilled, building, you know, the actual player experience of Survivor at base, be it on camera, be it off camera, around actually being good at loops and actually, you know, making the best of the environment as you can, you know? Fucking hell, dude. It's insane that we're literally going into a hand-holding simulator, literally. It's not a fucking exaggeration, mate. It's what the game is turning into. There you go. It is what it is, fellas, at the end of the day. But there's the review of that shit. So it's more shit you're going to have to put up with whenever you play Killer, you know? And it's probably going to turn your games as Survivor into just fucking Nurse, Blight and Ghoul all the time. But there's a lot of them on Survivor, mate, that just can't see the fucking wood for the trees. And it's a lost cause at this point. So we're getting very close now to just Blight Nurse Ghoul by daylight, because it is what it is. There's very little reason anymore to play anybody that isn't them. Because otherwise you're just going to be going through numerous second chances that are going to be base kit going forward. So there's going to be very little reason to actually fucking do anything apart from Blight Nurse and Ghoul. So yeah. There it is, boys. There's the upcoming shit show, basically, is what we'll label it, because it is. See you on the next one.